Today we're diving into a big question. Seeing? A serious question we are digging into there right now. Can Jamaica realistically become a top 30 national team in the next 5 to 6 years? Zin, think about that question there. And believe it or not, I believe the answer is yes. The only thing though is we have to stop focusing on goals and start building systems. It's like recently I've started to read this book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And in that book, he talks about turn away goals. Not word for don't quote me on this, but he's basically saying that build systems instead of goals. Once you build systems, then the goal will eventually come through the system. So today I'm breaking down the exact system Jamaica need to become a consistent, respectful, top-level football nation. Here we go. Now, we have a big problem because everybody loves to say we need to qualify for the World Cup or we should be at least top 50, top 30 in the world of football. But those are just goals, right? Those are just goals. Qualifying for the World Cup, that is a goal. Becoming top 30, that is a goal. The thing is, goals don't change anything by themselves. However, systems do. If Jamaica can build the right system, ranking improves automatically. Performance improves automatically. Consistency improves automatically through systems. Craig Butler is the one that is constantly pitching this. Let's build system. Let's build a style of player or a playing style that is compatible with our DNA, with our culture. Zine? So let's look at these systems Jamaica need to reach top 30. This might surprise a lot of people, but number one, a national football identity. As I said earlier, Craig Butler is one of those persons who has always been chanting this. Top teams all have a football identity. So what is Jamaica's identity? Right now, we don't know. We don't have one, but we can create one. And that is the most important thing. We can create a football identity. We're naturally good at pace. Zine, we're speedy. We have tricky 1v1 wingers. We have tricky wingers that are very good in 1v1 wing play. We have physical defenders. So with all of that, it's fair to say that we can build something similar to a transition football. Zine, we can be very good in a transition sense, in a transition style of playing football. All right, so let's build a Jamaican football identity around those strengths. Be it our pace, or wing play, or physical strengths. What would that look like if we can culminate all those 4 pointers and build a system around them? What would that look like? So let's build a Jamaican footballing identity around those strengths. We want the same system for under 13, under 15, under 17, under 20, right up to the senior level. This system should be taught in all those levels, coming straight up. better coaching and more education. We can't become top 30 without having a elite coaching system. We have to have a coaching education that is on par with the best. Zin, because believe it or not, teachers improve students. So it's the same thing. A coach is can be considered a teacher. So he will impart his knowledge on the players, which are his students, and they will become better. Get the drift? Yeah. So we we can't become top 30 with inconsistent coaching. So we have to invest in the coaching education in the country. Jamaica needs long-term head coach contracts, a national coaching curriculum, at least 20 to 50 coaches certified every year. The UEFA level standard in training sessions. You fix the coaching, you fix the football. In a school system where there are competent teachers, naturally the pass mark will improve for that school or that group of students if the teacher is very capable and competent of his job. Because I remember when while attending Central, the students were failing physical education and sport. Once he got the position and started teaching, then eventually he got a 100% pass mark in CSEC. So you perhaps the teacher before was incompetent or was lazy in doing his job. But when you get someone that is competent and consistent, then results start to show, and it did show. So we need that in the system. Youth development that actually develops. One of the biggest keys is youth development with long season, not 3 month schoolboy hype. Zine, I mean, this is going to be a hard thing to accomplish. Not really hard, but the school, the youth some have to go school, and but we have to develop a system where the youths them not just play football for 3 months and then who knows what happened after that. Most of my teammates while I was playing Da Costa Cup, after a while we never go play no club football or nothing after the cup. Most man just got them yard go eat up food and go on easy back. And when the cup come around again, them start training. Alright. You see me? And that was one of the things that I realized, that at my school, the other schools around us were ahead of us at that time, because our players weren't playing football year round. And once our coach realized that, he enrolled us in the D1 competition, and other players like myself and some of my team members, we went by the Humblian Sport Complex to train with them. And anywhere we could find any little corner league, any football competition that is being held, D1, Major League, we try to go to a team close by that we could train and get some playing time and develop ourselves. And once most of the team started doing that, we saw the result, because we were getting better over time. So we need a U13, U17, U15 national academy system where these players can go into to training every week in the month. They are gathered there and they're training and developing. We also need year-round football for the players. Players tracking databases, and modern sports science. We need all of these. All of this would eventually improve the football because football is literally science. So the more you know about the body, the mechanics of kicking, passing, um, free kicks, and all those little tiny details that the naked eye perhaps might not see. With modern sports science, then we can have people to analyze, assess, and improve whichever shooting mechanics or passing mechanics or body positioning and those little tiny details that we might miss. Those get can get improved with those type of things once we get them in place. If Jamaica produces 5 to 8 Europe Europe level players every cycle, top 30 becomes almost automatic. It will become a realistic goal, a realistic plan that is achievable and can happen. Because it's very important that we have players that are playing in Europe because Europe is the top league. The top leagues are played in Europe. So believe it or not, but if we can get players coming through the Jamaican system being um, imported to go playing in those top European teams, then we'll have a better squad eventually. Strengthening the JPL. Zine? So a strong national team requires a strong domestic league. Some things that the JPL can be upgraded with. I'm not sure if these things are in place. Minimum club standards, youth teams for every club, better medical and GPS system, more players and getting more players transferring abroad. Um, Cavaliers, Mount Pleasant, those are a few clubs. I believe Harborview. It's not a lot, but we might get a one player being transferred to go play somewhere else in Europe or abroad. Zin, we might get that, but that doesn't happen frequently. So if we can get that on a regular basis, then that will be good for the domestic league and it will be good for the Jamaica Reggae Boyz as well. This is how Croatia, Morocco, and Denmark build sustainability. This can be improved. If we get this improvement in the system, then more money will go back in the country, and this will be a good feat for our local players. Serious diaspora recruitment. So this is a massive one because Morocco use it and they have reached the World Cup semi-final with a smart diaspora strategy. See, a lot of teams are using this as well. Curacao, they they reach the World Cup right now. They use diaspora players. Most of them aren't even born in Curacao, if not any of them. So this is something that we can use. This is a system that should be put in place in order to strengthen the goal of reaching top 30. Zine. So Jamaica needs a full-time recruitment in England, USA, Canada. So we should scout these players from 14, 15, 16-year-old. Jamaica Rising Star annual camp in Europe and the US. This brings depth and quality and real competition. So this is something that can be done. And again, when these things are put in place, then it overall improve the team. Sports science and data. As I said earlier, Football is science now. We need a national performance center, a data analyst, sports psychologist, recovery and nutrition system, modern training methods. These are systems that may be in place, but I'm not sure. But an improvement on those things can allow the improvement of our players and eventually the improvement of our playing style and system. And of course, this raises the standard instantly. Once we have these things in place, the standard will rise instantly. So, as I said, we probably have these things in place already, but who cares? An improvement on them is if an instant improvement on the players. And in order for us to do well, the players need to be improved constantly, regularly. Smart match scheduling. So if you want top 30 ranking, you must play top 40 ranked teams. So this is very important because you have to have somewhere where you can measure yourself. There has to be a measuring stick. See? So if we are playing Trinidad, Curacao, those teams that are in our region that are perhaps ranked lower than us, yes, we might up the ranking a few if we win those games or constantly are winning games like those, but we have to measure ourselves against the big boys if we want to compete. So those Scotlands, those Morocco, Serbia, Switzerland, South Korea, those are teams that we should be looking to compete with whenever there's a FIFA window open, we should be looking to schedule matches with teams like those so we can match our level, we can test our level and see how best we are up against teams like those. And when you discover when you beat teams like those, what happened is the mentality change. So you start believing that, yeah, I say, sure, but if we can go beat a team like them, then who we can beat? You see me? It's like when we are playing schoolboy football. I attend Central I, so that is not a known school for football wise. They just recently push up them head in the football landscape. So when we buck teams like the Clarendon College, the Glenmuir, we are very well and up and ready for to play against those schools because we want to match our level against them to see where we stand. And I remember one season we beat Glenmuir and it was all over the news. So people were starting to look at us as real contenders and real a school that can compete against these big boys. So I'm just saying this to say whenever the Reggae Boyz match themselves with those teams that are ranked in the top 40, we come out victorious, a plus. But even if we lose, we can still learn from games like those and gain valuable experience from games like those. So we have to look to try and get matches with teams like those whenever a FIFA window comes around. And of course, high level opposition equals high level ranking points. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. So if Jamaica wants to build the right system, top 30 isn't a dream. It becomes inevitable. Zine, so once we put the right systems in play, then eventually we will reach those goals of becoming a top 30 country in the football land space. If you believe that Jamaica can reach top 30 with the right structure, share this with anyone inside the Jamaican land space who need to hear it. This is Guntertainment, where we have bold conversation Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. As always, I'll catch you in another one. Peace.